guys, welcome to Living with Ulcerative Colitis. I'm Maya. Today we're going to talk about invisible illnesses and how you can help. So what is an invisible illness? An invisible illness refers to any medical condition that is not outwardly visible to others, sometimes even healthcare professionals. Who does this include? This covers patients that suffer from heart disease, diabetes, dementia, mental health illnesses, some cancers, and autoimmune disorders. An invisible illness is different from a visible disability because when you have a visible disability that can be seen through speech difficulties, wheelchair, using a cane, or hair loss. But for people that have an invisible illness, they could be experiencing pain, fatigue, dizziness, weakness, and exhaustion. But you can't outwardly see this because it's happening inside them. What they experience. Because the disability is invisible, it's sometimes harder for people to understand that though it is invisible, it is a real illness. And so that can lead to having less empathy towards something that is invisible versus visible. It can take a long time to diagnose. This sometimes happens because even with healthcare professionals, you have to be able to advocate for yourself so that the doctor can properly find out what is wrong with you. And most of the times, people that have an invisible illness don't exactly know, they just have a lot of symptoms. And so it takes a long time for doctors to pinpoint what is wrong. Another thing is there is a difficulty being accommodated because of having to advocate for yourself, and then you finally get diagnosed. When you are telling your disability to others, we as a group with having an invisible illness, you have to be able to first explain what your disability is to your workplace or your school, and you also have to have a lot of paperwork from your doctors or healthcare professionals to back it up. When you have an outward disability, people can see it and they know that you have a disability, but when you have an invisible one, they want you to explain a lot more so that you can be accommodated. Another thing that we experience with having an invisible disability is confusion from some people. So confusion as why one day you're fine and then the next day you're not, because there is no outward physical change. It's harder for people to come to terms with the fact that you had a flare-up or something that they could not see that happened, and that's why the change took place. Another thing is judgment or scrutiny. A lot of people that have an invisible illness have talked about handicap spaces. For some people that have an invisible illness, they might have it it might take a lot out of them, like exhaustion wise, to walk from one point to another to get to the store or a building. And so they have been given a handicapped sign so that they can park in the handicap spot. But because there is nothing that is visibly wrong with them, some people that have an outward disability or just strangers will remark or tell them that they can't park there because they don't have an outward disability, which isn't true because the exhaustion can take a toll. Or some people have pain problems where they feel chronic pain, so the walking takes a lot out of them that ways too. There's also for public bathrooms and family restrooms. People think that the family restroom is only for people that are wheelchair accommodated, but there's also disabilities where you just need the bathroom. UC is one of those, and so we are allowed to use the family restroom or the bathroom that is not a stall, it's a entity to itself. And we're allowed to use that one so that you can be accommodated. But again, it's hard for some people to understand that there can be things they cannot see, things that are affecting that person, and they need to use that part of the accommodation. So, how do you support? If you are a friend or your family, the one thing that you can do is accept that sometimes showing love and compassion and understanding is sometimes all you can do. All you can physically do to help, because sometimes with an invisible illness, it does its own thing, and there's not really much the person that has a disability can do, and there's not much you can do to help either. You can know that you can talk and learn more about the person's invisible illness. You can ask about their symptoms and your treatments, but you have to be patient, because people that are having an invisible illness, they don't have to explain. They're entitled to their own privacy over what's happening to them. But whatever they want to explain, you can listen to and you can learn about it. Try not to get frustrated. Chronic illnesses have their own cycle. It can go from being completely okay one day, and it also can go like if they're having a bad day, the cycle can make it even worse of like a bad week. So sometimes it flip-flops like that without any rhyme or reason. And lastly, know that with invisible illnesses or just invisible autoimmune illnesses, some things that worked once might not work anymore later. This could be something that worked like over a weekly basis, or it worked for a year, and then after that year it no longer works. So everybody's invisible illness is different regardless of which one it is, because they're different people. But so I hope this video was helpful. Please like, share, subscribe, and press the bell for notifications. Bye guys!